Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carl Prusa MMA. Today, I am with the Jaguar. He is Mr. Matheus Camillo, getting ready for his UFC debut, going down May 17th, Apex, Las Vegas, taking on Gabe Green. Matheus, what's up, man? How are you doing?
What's up, brother? Good to see you again. Hello, everyone. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm doing great, man. All these fights coming up. Big fight for you coming in May
Yeah,
17th. A few months ago, you were able to win on the Looking for the Fight, the Korean Zombie promotion. Dana White ended up letting you get in the UFC, giving you a contract. Here comes the first one, man. When you got the phone call, when you found out from your management that it was going to be Gabe Green, you got a date, you officially got a fight. It was a pretty exciting feeling.
yeah, bro. Like I was on my way to the gym, and my manager called me, and I just say yes. I didn't look at the guy or nobody. I just say yes. My time, my opportunity. I worked so hard for this moment, and I'm more than ready. I prepare a lot for this fight. I know he's tough guy. He have experience with UFC, but I'm prepared for big things. Always I think about big things. This is just one more step, one more fight, and I'm looking for the big things for the future.
Absolutely, man. You had such a big journey just to get to this point. Obviously, moving all the way from Brazil, leaving everything, coming to the US, going through all these sacrifices, fighting on the regional scene, not
Yes,
seeing
brother.
your friends, not seeing your family. You had a big year last year, man. You were able to win on the Korean Zombie. You were able to get your contract. You were able to get your place in the UFC. At what moment were you able to really reflect on the journey, see all the sacrifices, and see that it was worth it?
Yes, that moment was in my hometown when everything starts. I was there with my family and came a lot of flashbacks in my head, a lot of sacrifice I did, and a lot of things, like to be where I am now. So that was the moment for reflection. Also, now, like for this fight, like I'm so grateful for everything God have been doing on my life. And that man, like I'm so happy, so grateful. That's my feelings. Grateful for everything.
No, that's so amazing. Where were you when you found out that you were signed to the UFC? Did you learn that after the fight in Korea?
Yes, after the fight, after the show, after my fight, Korean Zombie came to me and he said, Mateus, please don't leave now because Dana White want to talk to you. But I didn't know what's going on. I was so happy, but we don't know if he just want to say, oh, you're very good, talent, keep working, we never know. So I stay until the show end and we came to like a small room and in the computer have Dana White there, like, and we talk by FaceTime. And we talk and that I know I'm in UFC, he told me like welcome to UFC. So that moment was crazy for me. So crazy.
Yeah,
A lot of
absolutely.
feelings, I can't explain to you. I was so happy. I'm still happy, brother.
Absolutely. You're taking on Gabe Green. We talked about a little bit at the top here. A guy that's been around the UFC for a while, a guy that's now
Yeah.
moving down in weight for the first
Yeah.
time, moving to a new weight division. Overall, what do you think of Gabe as an opponent here?
Yeah, he's tough. Like I said, he's tough guy. He have his skills. I'm feel honored to fight against this guy. We share the same cage because he fought against big names. Like Iron Gary and Brian Battle. And whatever. So I'm so honored to share the cage with this guy, and he's gonna be my debut. So I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited.
Do you feel like being the younger fighter, does that go in your advantage? Do you think that's an advantage in this one?
Brother, like it doesn't matter if I'm young or not, but I always work so hard, man. Yeah, I work so hard. I bleed inside the cage. I work so hard, brother, every day. So I cannot tell you that, but like that, I'm working so hard, brother. I'm ready, for this
You work,
moment.
you
Yeah.
train over at Extreme Couture. The who's
Yes.
who of the UFC is literally there right now. Eric Nissick, one of the best coaches in the world.
Yeah.
All these killers in there every single day. What has that whole experience been like for you, man? Now being able to call yourself a UFC fighter in your own, what's it like mixing it up with the rest of the pack?
Yeah, it's amazing, bro. It's amazing. Especially for this camp. Chris Kurtz helped me for this fight, and we put good rounds inside the cage, and in the end, like I can see, like, oh man, like Chris Curtis helped me for that fight. That's so crazy, and I'm gonna do my debut in UFC, and a lot of things going on. That's nice, man. Like the feeling is amazing.
10 years ago, if someone was going to tell you, Matheus, in 10 years, you're going to be at Extreme Couture, you're going to be training with all these guys that you grew up watching and you follow and all this stuff, and you're going to be in the UFC, what would have you told them?
Keep working hard. Put God in first always, because without God we cannot go far, you know. And keep working hard, being humble, be honest, be a good person. Your dreams gonna come true, you know.
Absolutely. It's really cool on May 17th. You're not doing this alone. A couple of your really good friends are also on this card. You got
Yeah.
Myron Santos, you got Denise Gomez on here. I mean, it's really a stacked fight night card all around. What's it like to not only make your debut, but get to do it along two good friends like that?
Man, that's so amazing for me. The energy is so amazing because, bro, especially with Myron. Me and Myron, like years ago, we thought we watching Vans, in Las Vegas. We are not in UFC and we have just a dream. And we talk about this. One day you're gonna be in UFC, you're gonna see. One day you're gonna fight the same card, you're gonna see. And now we are in the same card in UFC. So that feeling is amazing, man. It's amazing. And fight with my friends in the same car, that's dope. That's
Absolutely.
dope.
One thing that's really awesome when you look at your record, man, you really did this the right way. You did
Yeah.
not fight easy opponents on the regional
Yeah.
scene. I mean,
Never, never.
you took on straight killers, man. I mean, you see it now in the UFC. There's some guys who they come in undefeated, big, really good record on the regional scene, and they just can't make that adjustment. The competition might be a little too high for them, and sometimes they're out after the first contract. For you, how much pride did you take, doing it on the regional scene and make sure you keep on testing yourself and find the best guys possible?
Yeah, that made who I am now. All those fights I did with tough opponents, all my opponent was tough guys, and that's made who I am, who this fighter who I am right now.
Absolutely. Another
Yeah.
thing about you is maybe who you are is how well-rounded of a mixed martial artist you are. You're very fun and exciting to watch. You have that power. You can knock people straight out. Your wrestling, your jiu-jitsu is also very dangerous. You're a threat on the ground as well. What point in the career did you really start thinking, hey, if I'm going to do this, I need to be as well-rounded as possible?
Yeah, like man, I always like fight since kid. And bro, like I can see that in training, in everyday train with UFC guys, and I test myself. So I started seeing that what I want for my life, and I know who I am. I started meditation.
Was there a point in the career where you really started telling yourself, hey, I see it. I can be in the UFC. I can do this?
And when I lost my first loss in US, that changed everything. How me think about fight. So that time I think was my big improvement, because I fixed everything, and I start to see, man, I'm here in Las Vegas, and if I do the right things, I'm gonna be there. If I keep on working hard, I will be there. I know this. I can see my friends, they are UFC fighters. So that point in my career changing.
Absolutely. I take losses on the regional scene with pros and cons. Obviously everyone wants to remain undefeated, sure. But I feel like it's a benefit to experience defeat before getting the UFC. I feel like a lot of times it lets guys fight free. They're not worried about the that's not even a thing anymore. Do you feel more peace of mind and more of a free feeling knowing that you've experienced defeat before?
Yeah, like because brother, loss when you lost, if you're a smart guy, when you lost, you're gonna see all mistakes you have been doing. Sometimes undisputed guys, they win and that's it. Everything is good. If they doing wrong things, they in train, I mean, like that's good for them. But if you're a smart guy and you're undefeated with your wins, you're gonna see the mistakes you did. So for some fighters, like for me, when I lost my second loss, I started to see everything. So that changed who I am. So I see that like a benefit. If you're a smart guy to see your mistakes, for sure. You know, it's nice being undefeated. Who don't want to be undefeated, right?
No, for sure. Do you feel
Yeah.
that fighting is more mental than it is physical?
Yes, like in the beginning of the fight, yes, mental, and the end is hard, you know, it's hard. Who wants more? My last fight was this. Who wants more? You know, who wants more? It's mental and heart, So that I show who I am, in that fight because my last fight, I mean, because I think after first, second round, brother, it's hard, especially when you fight a tough guy, you know.
That was definitely an amazing performance. Nabokov, that was the guy who went in the press conference or wherever they
Yes.
were, I think in Dubai, and told Dana White, "Hey, I want to be in here. I can do it." He brought him up to the stage. Dana's like, "Okay, we're going to give you your shot." They picked you. You were the guy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people they knew who he was because that moment it blew up all over the internet. So many people watched it. Going in there, did you feel like a lot of people were underestimating you? Did you feel like a lot of people were thinking you were the underdog in that contest?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, everyone's rooting for the guy, bro, because he did that thing nobody does. And everyone want to see this guy win and be in UFC. But brother, always I said like who wrote my story was God. If that fight show up to me because God wrote for me. And I went to Korea with this mentality. And when my manager called me about this fight, I just say yes. Like all my fights, I just say yes, because God already wrote this for me. And I went there with this faith and this mentality, and I know I'm working hard, and I'm gonna fight this guy until die there. And I did my best, and I got the win. So yeah, bro. But for sure, everyone rooting for that guy. But after that, everyone knows me too. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity, bro, to fight this guy. I'm so grateful for him too, because without him doing that, you know, maybe I have to fight again, and sign contenders. So I'm grateful, brother.
Following that big win, following being signed to the UFC, following the fight being announced, have you noticed more followers on social media? Are you feeling more attention? Are people starting to recognize you? Are you feeling it?
Yes, yes. I got a little bit more followers, but in Korea, like in YouTube, like they love me. Like if you watch, like the Koreans love me because I put the Korean flag. So I support them. And big surprise for this fight, I'm gonna put the Korean flag with Brazil flag. Because I want to show them grateful. I want to show them and Korean Zombie Special grateful for them because from that country I signed UFC, so I'm so grateful for this, for that. But
Absolutely.
they are so nice. Like when my fight's over, everyone wanna hug me, take pictures. That's dope. That's dope.
Did you notice a difference between the fans, like the fans that we see here in the US and the fans over, at that show in Korea? Do they act differently?
Yeah, like fans is fans, but everyone is different. Like in Korea, they are like they see you like a samurai. I don't know, something like this. They wanna touch on you. They see my six pack, and so you have six pack. Like they see you like a warrior. Like something like that. It's different. It's nice. I love
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize to be a fighter, it's a tough life. We talked about the
Yes.
sacrifices. It can be a very lonely road, man. It's highs and lows and
Yes.
ups and downs. You have a great team around you. You have a really good relationship with Lance, your manager. Guy,
Yes.
you used to stay at Lance's house. Always you guys have such a great relationship. He traveled with you all the way to Korea for that fight. What's that relationship been like with him, man? You guys are
He's
really
like a
close.
family, bro. Like a family because without them, this not gonna happen too. Without my people around me, giving me support, loving me, why am I gonna do that? So they are like family, bro. They are part of this. That's my relationship, like my family. And especially like I can tell you that because when we went to Korea, we don't speak Korean language. It's just us. So we feel like brotherhoods, like family, bro. We are here for the war. We are together for this war. So it's my family.
Absolutely. You know, another guy that you're really close with, Eli Barzilai, you know, a friend
Yes.
of both of ours. Now, you know, starting to become a really well-known prospect, man. I mean, he's doing really big things, keep winning
Big things.
fights. People don't want to fight him. He's got to be on the Contender Series soon, right? It's got to be a
Yeah, man, for sure. I can't wait to see live fighting UFC, man. I can't wait. This guy deserves so much. He's working hard every day. I'm big fan of Eli.
Absolutely. You know, before I let you go here, there's some big UFC fights coming up. So I want to give you talk some fights with you and have you do your predictions of who you think's going to win. So tomorrow night, we have a huge main event. We have Bilal Muhammad defending his title against Jack Della Maddalena. Who do you think's going to win that one?
I'm going with Bilal Muhammad. I'm going with Bilal Muhammad. This is my opinion.
Absolutely. You know, another big fight coming up is a rematch. Sean O'Malley taking on Merab Devashvili again. How do you think the rematch goes?
Merabi for sure. 100%. He's my brother. I'm always going to root for my brothers. Merabi for sure.
And now the last one, you know, a big fan favorite fight that just got announced. Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. I think one of the most anticipated fights in a long
Yeah.
time. Who wins that one?
Yeah, I'm going with Dusty Poirier. I'm big fan. He's a guy. He motivated me a lot. Like watching his fights, like how he fight. So I'm big fan of Dusty Poirier.
You know,
Last dance.
when you see the guys like that, when you see these big main event fights, the big marquee matchups, does that motivate you? Do you still feed off of that
Hundred
and look at them?
percent. Yeah, 100%. I imagine me there soon. One day. All the time, brother. All the time I drive through from to PI in the highway. I look to the. They have like a screen, with the posts for the next fight in the main event. Every day, I imagine me there one day. So that motivated me a lot.
Now that you're in the lightweight division, when you start looking at these big lightweights, are you viewing them as opponents?
Sorry.
Are you viewing the lightweights in the division right now as opponents? Like, are you looking at these guys and like realistically, I
Yeah,
might
like
fight you
bro, I
soon?
just joined. I just have to fight. Whatever UFC call me, I have to fight and win. So that's my plan. Day by day, step by step, we're gonna build the future, right? So I let in God's hands and day by day, you know. Who they put me next, let's go. Working hard and let's win.
You know, you live in the fight capital of the world in Las Vegas. Fighting something to do with MMA is all over that place, whether it be Extreme Couture, there's Syndicate there, there's all these gyms, there's the T-Mobile Arena, there's the Apex, there's the PI. What's it like living in an area that has so much fighting in it?
Yeah, that's crazy, because here everything happened. So right now I'm feeling normal, because my home. But in the beginning was like so excited for me. Like see UFC fighters, see T-Mobile, Apex, all those things. But now I feel home at home. So that's really good, when you are in place like that and you feeling like your house, your home. So that's good. Make you more comfortable. Especially right now I'm gonna fight at Apex. I'm gonna sleep at my home. I'm gonna take my car. I'm going to fight. So that's dope.
You know, in the Apex, you're going to be fighting in a smaller cage. Do you
Yeah.
like that? Does it matter for you? Do you like the
It doesn't
small?
matter, brother. It doesn't matter. Since kid we fight the street. It doesn't matter. Yeah, in
Absolutely.
the end, I always like think like this. In the end, it's just one more street fight. Fuck it, go fight. Throw hands. In the end, it's like this.
Absolutely. You know, in addition to training at Extreme Couture, you also go to the PI. You utilize the resources there. What's it like to be able to, you know, use the PI, use all the nutrition stuff there, the training stuff, the body metrics, as well as balance it out with Extreme Couture too?
Yeah, that's make big difference for our performance, because we can do therapies, we can eat, we can eat good, clean. So PI is very important, for all athletes from UFC and make big difference. This my camp like make big difference for me. I can rest, I can recover my body, I can heal injuries, I can use a recovery to be fresh for next day. So it's so nice.
Do you feel like 2025 is this the year where you really start building your name and maybe setting up next year a run for that top 15?
Yes, let's see, because the lightweight division have a lot of fighters, but everything can happen. Depends about my performance. And always I'm gonna put very good performance because these my goals. And let's see. I don't know the future, but I don't know about my present. You know, I can live present by present. I can do good today for the future tomorrow. You know.
Absolutely. All right,
Yeah.
Matheus, last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome on May 17th when you make your UFC debut against Gabe Green?
Yeah, like the world gonna see the Jaguar, you know, where I come from the roots, my roots from Amazon, you know. I'm going to hunt. I'm gonna put aggressive fight and fun fight. You guys can watch for sure. I can't wait to do that. I'm so happy.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Matheus, my friend, always a pleasure. Always really enjoyed talking to you, man. You worked your absolute butt off for many of years. Get to this point. Well deserved. Go out there, have fun, enjoy the moment, my friend.
Thank you so much, my brother, for the opportunity. It's my pleasure to talk to you again. You know, I wish all the best for you always. God bless your life. And I have one thing to tell everybody, like Jesus the way, the truth, in the life.
Absolutely. That's it for us tonight. I'm Carl Prusa. He is the Jaguar. He's Mr. Matheus Camillo. Watch him make his UFC debut May 17th when he takes on Gabe Green.
Let's
Take care,
go.
my fans. Let's go.